What's up, Mindfulness Project family? Okay, a lot of you, myself included, use New Year and the 1st of January to kind of like make the whole life new. So New Year's resolutions are coming up, and now it's the 20th of January, and most of the time everything is already down the drain. We have fallen back into the old patterns. So I'm going to give you two super powerful ways how you can actually make a lasting change to your mind so that your life can become the most amazing, juicy, joyful thing you can imagine. Wait until the end of the video because it's the clue comes in the end. Okay, so what you need to understand is our brain works very similar to a computer. You know, you feed something into it and it processes it, and it forms programs basically. So our our brain is wiring, the different parts of the brain wire together, and that's kind of your programming. And most of your programming is taking place in the first 9 years of your life, and then the rest of your life you're kind of like repeating this program. So if you make a conscious decision, okay, in this year I really want to stop smoking, I want to lose weight, I want to do sports, I want to have more time for myself, whatever it is your conscious mind which is active at the time, but your programming is in your subconscious mind. So you need to find ways how to actually access your subconscious mind. And it is science. It's very, very kind of straightforward plan how you can actually do that. And so the first part of the advice is to just really consciously use the techniques we know which help to change your mind. So the first thing what you do is you start small. So that means that you take smaller challenges and then you prove to yourself that you can actually follow through. So you can say, okay, I do 1 week without sugar. And if you see, oh, that's possible, then you just take the next week. Because what happened in the past is a lot of times people take too big of a challenge, and then 20th of January they already failed, and that gives you the belief, I cannot follow through. My subconsciousness is stronger than my conscious mind. And that forms a belief system, and it's sad in neuroscience. It's not what you think you become, it's what you believe you become. Your self-image, your beliefs about yourself determines where you go. So if in your subconsciousness it's programmed, like I am a smoker, and then you can do whatever you want with your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind will bring you back to how you define yourself. It will always bring you back to what you think you are. And so that means you can only learn by direct experiences. You can only kind of convince your subconsciousness to say, hey, dude, you are wrong. I can do that. So you work yourself slowly up. The second thing is, you have to be wise about, what you are asking for. Because a lot of people say, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this anymore, this is not going to happen this year in my life, and it has no power. It's nothing, your system will kind of like want, because it's dictating, it's not kind, and there's no motivation. Then your ability to grind yourself into it. So if you want to have a goal, take something really juicy, like I want to be in my healthiest state of my body. Instead of you say, I want to quit smoking, I want to lose weight, I want to do this and that, stuff like this. It's just like, I want to, be able to run a marathon, or I want to be able to be in the garden and just love digging. I want to be able to hike in the mountains and, be fit and strong. I want to go free climbing, and, I want to be, in shape for that. These things just really have motivational power, which is bringing you through the hard times, when you might go like, oh, should we go into the cafe and just eat all cakes and all that kind of stuff. This is what carries you through. So choose something which is really amazing. And then the third thing of the first part is that you actually use meditation, use mindfulness, because you need to become aware of your programming. Because basically, if you're not aware that the program is running, then you are a slave of your past experiences, of your past emotions, of your past behaviors. You're just repeating, and then you are in a very, very small cage, and defined by who you think you are. So if you want to broaden up, you need to redefine who you are and just really go to that place where you understand that you have so much more potential. It's a little bit like an elephant. When you have a little baby elephant and you put it on a chain, you teach the elephant that this chain is just so strong that you cannot do anything against it. And when the elephant grows, this small little chain would not do anything. But because the elephant thinks, that this chain will, just keep me hostage, it will not even try to break out of it. So your belief systems determine where you're going, what you can do in life, and to see that you can broaden up tremendously, and that most people are only living 30, 40, 50% of your actual potential. So the goal should be that you actually live who you are, what you are, and not what your parents, your teachers, and your friends have told you. The whole path of meditation is actually to become 100% free. It's about liberation and nothing else. So to use meditation and mindfulness is the most powerful tool to see that most of the things I think, most of the ideas I have, most of the ways how I define myself is the old programming. And if that is clear in the moment, and for that you need mindfulness in a moment-to-moment state. It's not that you're just sitting on your meditation cushion and be mindful for half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour. It is that meditation is actually the art of living. And that means that the meditation is just a training to be mindful in daily life, to see what the Buddha says, non-self. That what you think you are is not a self, is not, just a closed, independent entity. And if you become mindful, then you are actually able, on a moment-to-moment base, to make a conscious decision to not go down that road again. Not to be trapped in the same old pity habits. Yeah? So, and that needs training, that needs diligence, that needs to, be a powerful focus. So if, we are most of the time distracted in all different kinds of directions. And, we put so much energy into work, into, being somebody, into, posting things on Instagram and Facebook and what the heck. And, just distracting ourselves because we cannot stand the loneliness and the difficulties we feel inside. And if you would use all that energy to, for your own good, then, your life would change in no time. If you just really stay concentrated on what is really, really important for yourself, then, it frees up so much. And it's the most powerful way of just really influencing your mind. And tomorrow I will post a video about how you actually do that. It's just for our Patreon friends, that you just do the meditation in order to really change your mind and apply the mindfulness to everything what you do, and just keep your focus, keep your focus, keep your focus. So this is how your brain learns. You just want to learn a poem by heart, so you just read it and you can't remember it. You read it again, you read it again, you come back to it again and again, until the mind understands, oh, okay, I've no other chance. So we better learn that. So this is the way how you just really train your mind with anything what you do in life. Learning a language, learning a new skill. You just, right now I'm learning archery. And you just go back to it and go back to it. But you have a positive goal. You want to achieve something, and that just keeps you going and keeps you going. So see how you motivate yourself. So that is the whole realm of, neuroscience, meditation, consciousness, and mindfulness, which will actually bring you to the place where you start to redefine who you are, and seeing the moments, where you flip back into the program, flip back into the matrix, flip back into your habits, and you want to get out. So, and the second most powerful way to change your life is that everything what I just said is wrong. Everything what I just explained to you, even though it is scientifically proven from a scientific and neuroscientific point of view, and has proven in so many ways, I want to tell you a story. Like, we are doing this reforestation program right now, and we are going to fundraise for 7 million euros. And there were, just 2 weeks ago, there was a moment where my mind was just kind of collapsing into my inner child. And I was like, who the fuck would give us, little project, 7 million euros? Am I crazy to even ask for it? That would never happen. And I was just really crumbling, and all my old belief systems came up, all my hello Ash. Ash is just helping me a little bit with my teachings. And so all, like the moments where my mother left me alone and I was standing alone in front of the house and crying, all these kind of feelings came back. We all know these moments. So, and then I talked to Anya and said, listen, Anya, I think I really have to do something to overcome my negative belief systems about myself, that I don't deserve to be successful. And before I have not overcome these kind of belief systems, then we'll never reach our goal. We'll never get this money. And Anya got really angry with me. She said, Christian, that's bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit. Just because, we have old habits and traumas doesn't mean that we let them rule us. And yeah, that sounds somehow right. Then I spoke to my best friend. I told her the same. It was so painful to feel these feelings of weakness and stuff like this, and I think I have to overcome them. And she was kind of saying, Christian, but that's our life story, like if in moments to the rest of our life, we'll come to the point where we're going to feel these kind of negative emotions, and that is what it means to be human, and there's nothing wrong with it. The question is only, do you let yourself rule by these emotions? And I was just sitting there, I was like, no, wait a second, I don't want to define myself as somebody, oh, my mother left me alone, or I have this trauma. I'm not this person, And, the Buddha was teaching, what you think, you become. And I was like, no, that's not the way. But when she said it again, Christian, just be compassionate with yourself. Something inside of me just really relaxed. Something became really soft and tender, and something opened up. And I was able to just be with my difficult feelings without needing to change them or wanting them away or having the fear that these kind of feelings will stop me. And that brought me in the next days to a really beautiful state of mind where I could integrate my inner child into my work and saying, hey, come on, yes, that is just a fucking big thing we're doing, This is overwhelmingly big, and that's okay. But let's try, let's believe, and, and then something really, really beautiful happened. So, and that means you can either go the way of and there's no right or wrong, better or worse. I mean, I have a little bias in here, I have to admit, but, like, the male part of my energy is, analytic, is straightforward, is, using mental power to make a change. The other way of transforming your life completely is self-love and self-acceptance. So, and they have made a lot of research about drug addicts, and there is this kind of belief when it comes to addictions, and our habits and our patterns are in a form addictions. They are just wired in our brain and are repeated like a drug. And so they have made or came up with this idea that you induce a drug, and when it does some kind of chemical things, your mind becomes addicted to these experiences and to these substances, and then you are addicted. And the way out of it is, to force yourself, to train yourself, everything I just described. And so they made a scientific research with rats, wanting to see if it's, a human thing, or that if animals develop the same kind of addiction to substances. So they put rats in a cage, and they gave one bottle of water, what they could drink, and one bottle of water which had heroin in it. And the rats were trying the heroin, and they were coming back to it, and they were just going down and down and down very quick and dying. So they were said, okay, here's your proof. Like substances make you addicted, and that's how it works. So, and then one clever scientist were questioning, and I think this is what we all have to do with science all the time. We still need to stay critical about anything. And so he was looking and looked, what was actually in the cage, and what was the living circumstances of these rats. And he found out they just didn't put anything in there, just the 2 water bottles. And so he said, okay, I made the same experiment again, But I make a cage which is kind of rat's paradise, you know. He put things in to play, to hide, he put other people in, not people, sorry, other rats into the cage. You know, there was sexuality, there was contact, there were mates and stuff like this. And he put the 2 water bottles in there with just water and with the heroin. And the rats were trying both. And then the wonder happened. All the rats were going to the natural water, and none of them were consuming the water with the drug. So that experiment was actually proving that, you know, overcoming addiction is probably not by forcing, by pressurizing, by you know, making these people small or making them into you know, criminals, or, you know, to bring them away from society. The way to overcome addictions is actually by love, by, you know, compassion, by connection, by, you know, just really creating a space where people feel loved and feel, you know, just being part of something bigger, and then, you know, no addiction will actually appear. So, and, you know, if you want to transfer these kind of experiments to your own situation and to your own addictions to food, your own addictions to social media, to, you know, what other people think of you, you know, opinions, your addictions to who you are as a person. The way to change it is actually that you create the ideal cage or no cage for yourself. You know, that you focus, instead of focusing of, I want to have the ideal body, I want to be successful, I want to be this or that, that you actually focus on one thing only, and that is love. You know, that is love and connection and self-acceptance, you know. And if you create that ideal surrounding for yourself, then, you know, overeating will fall away. You know, overconsumption of, you know, social media and, you know, distractions will naturally fall away. If you just really are, you know, in your hobbies, if you go climbing in nature, if you play instruments, if you are dancing, if you do all these kind of things, just remember the Mindfulness Project. You know, just where you were surrounded by incredible people who were, you know, just, you know, inspiring you and, you know, loving you, hugging you, who were dancing, you know, then these things will naturally fall away. And this is why I believe that the power of meditation is, or the power of spirituality is actually the power of love. And that's, you know, what Jesus teaches, what the Quran teaches, what the Buddhist and Hindu scriptures are teaching, you know, that it is about love, about self-love, about giving, about sharing, and about creating this, you know, utopia, basically. And that will make your mind change naturally. It will bring that your whole being will kind of, you know, go back to your full potential without you needing to push through, to go against, because there's one very, very difficult thing in these spiritual ideas, which is that, you know, like what you think you become, and when you think something negative, then that will lead you to having a negative life. So you live in aversion to these thoughts, to your shady sides, to, you know, what you don't want. And this aversion is duality. This aversion is not spirituality. And, you know, a lot of teachers will continue to tell you that you should be somebody else, that you should be better, because if we talk about changing your mind, a lot of times we're talking about getting better, more perfect, more relaxed, more this and that. And in reality, it's just about opening up to what life is, opening up to who you are, and not needing to go anywhere. Yeah? So just being yourself in the craziest form, in the most incomplete form, in the most messy form. This is, who you are. And if you are not in a version of yourself anymore, if you're not in this inner war with yourself anymore, then the most magic things will happen, I promise. So make 2022 the year of love and self-acceptance. Go out there and create the perfect environment for you, what you really need in your life, not in terms of success or more or doing or punching through. Forget the whole first part of my video and just be love, be it right now and nothing else, because that is the female energy of us, and this is what we need to bring into this world as quick as we can. And if I see how much people are in resistance to each other, is it because they have different political opinions, and or may it be that they have different opinions about this pandemic or about vaccinations? That's just such a small part of who we are, and we just forget the whole big picture, and the big picture is love. So I hope you find this helpful. If yes, give us a thumb up, like this video so that we can see this is the right track we're on. We love you, and tomorrow I will post a video on Patreon on meditating about how to change your life through unconditional love. So see you tomorrow.